Welcome to the Flaming Puck podcast with me, your host, Ian Dynamo Kelly, joined as always by the two boys showing the guns today because the weather over in Canada is super, super hot. It's Mr. Chris Ruback and, of course, Dylan Simpson. Boys, how are we doing today?
Friggin' A. Friggin' A.
Absolutely wonderful. It's
Lots of
like you
trade
said,
talk
it's so
going on,
hot.
so it's fun.
Yeah,
Great talk, fun, sun. Everything's good. You guys are in the old wife beaters there. Hopefully, that's the extent of the wife beating today.
It truly
But
is.
we
My wife wears one too. She kicks my ass. It's fine.
Yeah, well, she's a UK lady, so she'd be well
Yeah,
able.
exactly.
um, Dylan, we've got some interesting stuff to talk about today. You always are our resident man to let the people know what the agenda of today's show is, and we have a damn good show today, right?
So
absolutely we do. Well, first of all, Chris and I both got new equipment, so hopefully you guys can see and hear us a little better. Um, Also, we have a lot of fan reaction. Fans have given us a lot of mock trades. We're gonna go through and kind of give our thoughts on some mock trades. And also, I think we're going to kick it off actually by talking a little bit about the playoffs and
Yes.
how it's going. Now we're, as of recording, we're a day away from the Stanley Cup Finals starting.
First game.
And we're also going to talk about this absolutely ridiculous officiating issue that's going on in the league. There's been some absolutely ridiculous things happening. So we'll talk about that. How you guys feeling about all of that?
Chris?
good. I shoot. How do I feel about the referee? Okay, so here we go. Let's bring up some numbers here.
Mhm.
So where are we
Chris
at?
is our
Who
numbers
do you-
guy, as you already know.
who- who do you guys believe have the most power play opportunities so far in the 2020-2021 playoffs?
I'm going to guess by saying,
New York, maybe?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the Islanders, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good guess. So they had 49 of them in 19 games. Tampa actually has four more than them at 53 in 18 games.
Ooh.
So Tampa actually draws more penalties, whether it be speed, whether it be stick infractions, things like that. It's hard to say what the issue is there.
Probably hooking and stuff like that, and just
Yeah,
little
I mean,
minors. Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
They
they're
certainly
also
didn't have the
fast, right?
Vegas advantage. They are fast, right? So I
They're
would
very
imagine
fast.
they draw a lot of penalties with their speed, a lot of hooking calls, things like that, right? Which there were quite a bit. Vegas just gets a lot of penalties because who they are. Sorry, I mean power plays, not penalties. They get a lot of power plays because it's Bettman's fucking baby.
Yeah.
Um,
Book the Golden Knights. I was delighted to see them go.
halfway through that series, they more than tripled the man advantage to the Habs during that round. It was pretty gross. But
That's crazy.
at the end of it all, they both ended up with 43 at the end of their playoffs
really?
so far. Right? Yeah,
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
yeah. I was surprised. That
Yeah.
last game, the Habs had a lot of calls. Last two games, actually, the Habs had a lot of calls go their way.
Sure.
I think there was a lot of people tweeting about it, about the one-sided officiating, which, I mean, every series has had it. It's been an issue for years and years,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
this year really looked egregious. Like there was so many just
There
what
was
the
a
fuck
few
moments.
really interesting ones.
There really
I just
was.
don't understand.
Even in the regular season, guys, there was some pretty shitty calls. I mean,
Yeah,
take
Well,
away
there
the hot
always
mic
is,
incident. Leave that to one
Yeah.
side. There was still some pretty
Yeah.
shitty officiating, right?
Well,
Dylan?
I'm gonna say straight up, like, you can't expect them to be perfect.
No.
They are human beings,
Of course.
and it is a really fast game, and it's really hard to get everything right. And with
Yeah.
slow motion video replay, everybody gets their say on it, even though it's not that obvious for the people in the building
Sure.
not getting those angles and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's some that can't be, like, there's no excuse for. I'll go an easy one that actually ended up favoring the team that won that game, but that was a missed icing, or an icing that got called that wasn't a fucking icing. It hit the goalie in the in the stick or the pad. It hit Leonard, and the Canadians ended up winning the game. I think right after the icing, but how was that an ice? Like how was that not an icing?
Yeah, no, that's true.
You could hear it. If they were looking, they could have seen it. The goalie was in position for it. It was not even really close to missing the net in the first place. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, I'd concur.
Yeah, you're right.
I agree.
Well, even that high stick to Perry.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Perry. Like, I hate, quite frankly, like, maybe not as a human being. I don't know the man, but you know,
on the ice,
I'm on the ice. He's stifled the Flames so many times, and the 13 years of Anaheim destroying the Flames. Perry can go fuck himself, to be honest. But
100%. Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Corey Perry, if you're listening,
was a
like
missed
you
call.
said, Dylan did say, as a human being, you're probably a good dude. We'd love to have you on the show. In fact, absolutely.
We'd love to.
We would.
And
I agree.
That being said,
I agree.
That stick to the face, like, that was so blatantly obvious.
It was fucking broad daylight, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that there was punches to the face, like there was a meme going around.
That was so funny.
And the referee literally staring at it from like
six and a half feet. Yeah, between 5 and 6 feet away, looking at it. And just like, nah, that's good. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then it happens. And then it happened in another game, and the guy got a fine, right?
Yeah.
You got a 5 in misconduct, and
exactly.
then a fine.
And right before that hit, right before that punch to the face, there was. I mean, Weber's a big boy and he can take it, but right before that punch to the face, there was the most obvious hitting from behind, boarding 5 in a game hit I've ever seen, and it was just like, oh, let's not bother calling that, the most dangerous play in hockey, literally the most dangerous play in hockey.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up, Dylan, because that brings us back to a game that I was watching a while back, and it just came up to me, the Flyers and the Penguins, when Brandon Tanev got called for the fucking boarding shot, and it was a good shot. Yeah, it was dangerous, but it wasn't boarding, and they fucking gave him the 5. You know what I mean? So there's been no consistency. I think that's really what we're looking at here, is the levels of consistency in refereeing in officiating. I feel this year has kind of dropped a little level, and I do agree with your point.
The rules are pretty much set in stone, right?
Yeah.
So why can't we have any sort of?
It's a damn book.
Yeah.
It's a damn book.
Yeah, exactly. The rules are the rules, right? Follow.
It's true.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's fucking true, man.
I mean, there are some judgment stuff when it comes to the hooking and the goaltender interference bullshit, which nobody knows what that call is anymore.
But all of the stuff that we're talking about is when it matters the most in the playoffs. In like most of what we're talking about, I'm pretty sure is in the Stanley Cup semifinals.
Yeah.
Like, how is this stuff? And veteran referees, how is this stuff getting ignored? Like, it's player safety, and it's something as simple as a puck hitting a goalie and not missing the goal. Like,
absolutely,
schoolboy stuff. You know what I
mean? Here's a fun one. I didn't really follow a lot of the Nashville series because there was always other games going on. They played 6 games and had 26 power plays.
Holy shit! 6 power plays a game?
Yeah, more than. No, not more than. Sorry, more than 4. There's 26 for 6 games.
26 for 6, yeah. That's ridiculous.
Where the Wild had 11 through 7, right?
Yeah.
They've always been a more disciplined team for sure.
Well, we may as well stay on point then and stick with the playoffs before we get into some of our fun stuff. I mean, we had called on the previous show that we called the Golden Knights and the Lightning in the final. Obviously, the Canadians have got into the final. Canadiens, I'm not a fan of that team at all, so I don't really.
No.
You know, I see a lot of people on the Flames Hub, which you should go and join if you're a real fan on Facebook. Shout out to our Flames Hub people.
Even though Steve doesn't want to come on the show.
Yeah, he's always fucking busy.
He's too good.
Yeah.
He's too good for the Flaming Puck podcast. Right?
Yeah, he's waiting for the right time. He's waiting for the right time.
Bitch.
He's waiting for the opportune time to come on and grill us and just educate us.
He's waiting until we get to 500, right? So
that's it, man. Yeah.
For everybody watching right now, go ahead and share it. Hit the subscribe. Do all the stuff you need to do. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify.
Come into Twitter soon as well. Yeah, please. We do. Yeah. We have a group that you're more than welcome to join. The Flaming Puck. Send us a request. Either three of us will let you in. 100%. Oh. And so far, thanks for all the support. We're getting a lot more comments and a lot more feedback. In the comment section. So that's what we want. Keep doing it, guys. Part of the Dynamo Podcast Network. We appreciate it, and you know, we're only 11 episodes in, and we're growing pretty much every week. So and that is all in thanks to your support. So we've got Avalanche fans, we've got Bruins fans, we've got fans from every team. We've got Ducks fans. I'm not sure if we've any Oilers fans yet, but I'm sure they will let us know.
No, we filter. Yeah, we filter them out. Don't we?
We do. Yeah. Okay, so the boys filter in the background. I knew nothing about this. So guys, I'm sorry. If Chris says no, there's not much I can do for you.
I'm the band hammer on the Flames Hub, so fuck around.
So, but no, all joking aside, we really do appreciate your support, and guys and girls, keep on hitting the like and subscribe, and keep commenting and let us know your feedback and what we can do better. Any suggestions on topics and stuff like that, absolutely hit us up. And if you'd like to come on the show with something decent, don't just expect to come on the show and show your face and say nothing, because that won't work. But unless you,
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, exactly. We've got our resident gun control down here in so he's so let's stick with the playoffs, guys, because we did say I am definitely not an Avs fan at all. I kind of did want the Golden Knights to get in there. This whole thing of let's get a Canadian team in. I don't give a shit about any other Canadian team unless it's my team.
Being a Canadian, I would like to jump in on that.
Yeah, that's yours.
Never in my life have I ever actually rooted for a Canadian team to win a series.
Sure.
Period.
Other than the Flames and
correct, of course, other than my own team.
And for me, the Jets, I like as a hockey team, not because they're Canadian, but because I like the team. I like how they're built.
It's an appreciation. It's an appreciation.
But if they change the way they're built, I might not like them anymore.
100%. And being born and raised in Alberta, I mean, anything in the Quebec province is a no-go for me as it is, anyways. Right? Just kind of it's the way it's just bred into us. But I mean, what am I going to do? Cheer for the Oilers if they ever make it? No. They're a rivalry. Am I going to cheer for Toronto? No, their fans are insufferable. Am I going to cheer for Ottawa? Nobody cheers for Ottawa, even their own fans. Am I going to cheer for Winnipeg? I don't mind them, but I don't know if I would cheer for them. Vancouver can fuck off, and that's it. Yeah, damn it! I went through the list.
So I think it's safe to say that we're all three of us are Lightning fans in this final. Then, yeah,
which is just horrendous to say because I've been pretty anti-Lightning since 2004. That puck was in, by the way.
In all honesty, I know we've already gone over this topic, but I'm not really that against the Canadians. I'm just against Corey fucking Perry. I don't give a fuck about.
You're really enticing Corey onto the show today. I like this.
Yeah. I know. I don't really care.
And how do you not try and support Carey Price? I mean, look what he's done to get them. I mean, they wouldn't be here at all if it wasn't for Carey Price. Obviously.
And
he stood on his fucking head.
Exciting to watch. Like Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki, and it was fun to watch Suzuki burn the team that drafted him and traded him.
100%.
You know, but at the same time, am I cheering for Montreal because they're a Canadian team? No. You know, first of all, I'm cheering for Tampa in the series, but I don't really care which one wins.
No,
Me,
I want 7
before.
games.
I've said it before. I have a little bit of a soft spot for the Lightning. I don't know what it is. I always have. I guess, like when I was younger, I liked some of their players. So I think it's more of an appreciation as well, kind of similar to what Dylan was saying with the Jets. It's not necessarily that I'm, 100%. Oh, Lightning are my second team. It's like I love Dallas's uniform. You know what I mean? But does it mean I'm going to go out and cheer for the Stars? No. But you can have a certain appreciation for certain teams, and I think especially when it comes down to the American teams, unless it's the Ducks or someone like that, you can probably have a bit of a soft spot, if you will,
Sure,
for another team.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had my soft spot teams too, right? Minnesota, they're boring to watch.
But
I like
they're
defense.
so hockey crazy there that
Yeah.
But their fans also aren't insufferable like some other already mentioned teams fans.
Yeah.
What's
nice,
funny?
It's nice not to have Vegas fans anymore in the playoffs. That is good.
I was going to say to Dylan there, what's funny? I kind of had more of an appreciation for the Stars this year because of their retro jersey. And also,
I like that jersey.
It's so beautiful, man. But also, Corey Perry wasn't playing for them anymore. So I was like, okay, I can like the Stars again. That's all right.
Yeah. And you know what? The way they were
Ben
built
is a
last
piece of
year,
shit, though.
Yeah, he is.
The way they were built last year, there's no reason they shouldn't have been in the playoffs this year.
I agree.
I agree. They're such a well built. They have so. I guess Bishop being hurt didn't help, but they have really good forwards. They have really good defensemen, like all the way through their lineup, and they have 2 really good goalies when Bishop is not hurt.
Yeah. Well, let's make our predictions on the playoffs, and obviously we're going to touch on this every week. So let's obviously by the time this airs, game 1 will have been played, and next week we'll be a little bit closer to knowing, I guess, who's going to be lifting that beautiful trophy. So why don't we?
So as much as I don't want Perry to win, I am done fucking saying that the Canadians aren't going to win this series. So the Canadians are going to win this series. I've been wrong so many times on this over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I see what you did. You just gave the cup to Tampa.
Yeah, it's reverse. It's reverse. I call it.
Yeah.
Like every single round, I've said that the Canadians are going to get their asses handed to them, and they've made me look stupid every time.
Yeah, and I think we both said they're not going to win, but they're going to get destroyed, and then they don't.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure on this show a few weeks ago, I said whoever wins between Vegas and Colorado, the Habs are going to get their asses handed to them. I'm pretty sure those were my exact words.
You did.
And I mean, obviously, when Vegas is getting 43 power plays in the playoffs, but sitting at a 9.3, 9.3 playoff or power play percentage, that doesn't help.
Their problem was, and don't get me wrong, because he's one of my favorite defensemen in the league, but Pietrangelo was the only player that scored at all that whole series. He scored like quite a few times, but he was the only even relatively consistent Golden Knight. He's one of my favorite defensemen in the league. I thought we should have gone after him last year, but
Yeah. Well, that and yet another Fleury playoff meltdown.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I mean,
props to
he's
Leonard,
been replaced. He sat on the bench and has 2 cups from it because he lost his job.
Yeah.
And then he was losing his job in this round.
And I mean, props to Leonard. I love Leonard. He's another one I thought we should have gone after.
You know what I mean? All jokes aside, he doesn't. He's had a couple of battles this year as far as save percentage and just not looking good on the ice. But I mean, he seems like a solid dude. He really does. And I feel for him with the problems that he was going through I guess probably still going through. But I mean, like even just like look at the tweet that he puts out after the game. That's just he's a good man, right?
Yeah,
It's hard
I
not
had a
to
lot
cheer
of
for a guy like that.
I had a lot of respect for him when I watched the I think it was a Sidney Crosby documentary, or else it was maybe the Penguins documentary on when they won the Stanley Cup for the first time. It was in like 16, 17, right?
Yeah.
And Fleury just came across as a really good dude, like as well. I think he came across as a
Him
really,
too, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all you hear is how likable he is, right? And how
Well, it's the same. That's
how
why
much
I
all
like
those players
guys.
like him, right?
Listen,
And
that's
like
why
he's a jokester in the dressing room, and
yeah. But that's why I like guys like him and Crosby and guys. They're just good professional fucking dudes. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all the time in the world for those guys. But I'm going to make my prediction. I'm going to go 4-2. I think it's going to be 4-2 to the winners of the Stanley Cup. And we'll move along.
Holy,
that's how you sit on the fence, right?
And
I don't know
Ian
what just
has
happened.
Dodged the question
Foul.
that he posed.
I call foul.
I know you guys got some great politicians over in Canada, so I figured that you might understand I was being political there.
Define the word great.
You non-committal bastard.
You got a certain Canadian president up there that's not too well liked, that probably avoids dodging questions.
I don't think we have any Canadian presidents.
God, I hope not. I mean, he's a dictator at this stage, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a piece.
Anyways, moving on away from politics.
But anyway, I'm going to go to the Lightning. 4-2 to the Lightning.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I can say that because I'm in Ireland, anyways.
I'm going to go 4-3 for the Canadians.
4-2 for me for the Lightning.
4-3. So you know what? I like it. I hope it goes 7 games because I don't really give a shit who wins. I just want more hockey.
Yeah,
season's coming to an end. I want as many games as possible.
I'm with you there.
So I thought Toronto was going to handily beat them. I thought the Jets were going to roll over them. I thought the Knights were going to destroy them. I'm going Tampa 4-3.
Okay.
All right.
Kucherov with a big.
I'm actually thinking about
finals.
putting money on the Canadians just because they've proven
What's the
me
stat
wrong
line
so
at?
much.
Do we know?
They must
I'm gonna
be
advise you live on air, Dylan. If you value your money, don't do that.
Well, that's just it, though. I don't value my money. Oh wait, yes I do.
Yeah, please don't do that, man.
I don't value that at all.
Think of your future children. Right, let's move swiftly along into part 2, which, Dylan, as you mentioned at the top of the show, that we have got some mock trades and we've got some from fans as well. So this is going to be a little bit of fun. This is going to be a little bit of fun. So we're going to kind of look at where we can see certain players going. I'm not too sure now, Dylan. You're going to surprise me and Mr. Ruback on some of these trades. So are they solely?
This is Dylan. This is what Dylan does.
Oh, he loves this shit.
Day.
Are they solely?
If he's not kicking the shit out of somebody in a comment section, he's looking at trades and he's looking at drafts. This is what I've learned about Dylan over the last while.
Me too.
He's either eating somebody alive in a comment section, calling them whatever name there is in the book, or he's trying to make the Flames better.
Yeah,
there it is.
Let's make Calgary great again.
Let's kick it off and let's make Calgary great again. Yeah. That being said, I want to thank all of these people. We've got, I think, 10 different people who gave us a bunch of mock trades and some regulars, some new people, all from the Flames Hub on Facebook or from the Flaming Puck on Facebook. So you should definitely join those if you'd like some of your comments to be featured on the show or maybe one day. So yeah, we're gonna kick it off here. Our first mock trade is from Richard Thorpe, who's a regular on Flames Hub, who we talk to all the time. He's a huge Sam Bennett fan. But
shout out to you, Richard.
Sorry.
Shout out.
Yeah, sorry, Sam's gone, Richard. Anyways, he's saying, would it be worth
to say that?
right? Anyways, uh, he's saying Monty and our first round pick this year to move up in the draft, and he's thinking we could probably get a top 3 pick if we move up in the draft.
So sorry. So Monty and our first round pick for a higher pick.
Yeah, he's saying package our 12th pick and Monahan for a top 3 pick.
For who?
Well, that's my thing with it too. Is I don't understand.
Richard Thorpe never send a question again. Dylan was right. Sam Bennett.
We're kidding. We're kidding. And in all honesty,
Fuck this guy.
like Genther is the only player I'd be willing to do that for.
But not for Monahan and our first round pick. Hell no. Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
for Monahan and our 12th, I mean,
yeah,
I might be thinking like if it's top 3, but like I'm looking at all the teams who have top 3 picks. I don't think Buffalo does that. Buffalo wants to rebuild. They want they don't want Monahan. The Kraken,
but they're going to need a center though once they unleash Scheichel.
Yeah,
I still can't see them doing that.
No,
I guess the Kraken probably want would want a player like Monahan. Maybe I don't know, but I don't know if they being a new franchise would want to trade their second overall pick. I think.
Cool. Could you imagine
value that more.
Kraken take Monahan in that trade and then take Gio?
Right.
There's problem solved. Oh, you know what, Richard?
Richard, you're a goddamn genius.
Richard, I renege on my first fucking statement. You, sir, are a genius. We've just figured it out.
And then Anaheim and New Jersey, I don't see either of them wanting Monahan. New Jersey has a lot of depth at center as far as prospects are concerned, and adding a guy like Monahan is just going to take from their
development. It'll clog it, right?
Yeah.
Anaheim's full on rebuild mode, so they want to keep their third overall pick. As far as the fifth,
but Getzlaff is going. They might take Monahan.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I could see maybe Columbus wanting to do that. Fifth overall.
Yeah, but now we're getting into fifth, and we shouldn't do it, right?
No.
Yeah. I don't think we should do it for fifth. I do think that Columbus might be interested in that, just because they desperately need a center, and if they're going to keep Laine, I don't see Laine and Monahan working. But if they want to keep Laine, they're going to need a center for him.
They'll just be standing around looking for somebody to go get the puck. Right?
Right.
Why is nobody passing to me? I'm ready to shoot.
You need a bellboy on that line to make sure.
Jeez, God, that would be the most boring line in the world.
I'm glad we're all on the same page about that. That would be fucking hilarious to watch for a little while.
I just want line the hash marks and Monahan in front of the net, just standing there going,
"Hey, my wrist is sore. Eh? Where's my fucking pass the weed? Eh? My fucking hip." I just want to apologize to Richard there. I'm obviously teasing just in case Richard takes that being serious. That was a fair shout.
Monahan and Monahan and Laine just standing within arm's length of each other, actually
smoking weed together.
Actually, just passing each other joints.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Hey, it's not legal down here." Oh shit!
Well, shit. Now I want to play on their line.
You could be the left wing. You might actually bring some finesse to that one.
Right? Yeah, you're damn right.
Thanks for commenting, Richard.
Thanks, Richard.
Honestly, like,
it's an interesting idea.
It's a good idea. I don't know if this is the year to do that. Maybe if we did that for like a 2023 first or a 2022 first, even. I think Richard, that might be a little bit of a better idea.
That one kind of smells to me of Richard just wants rid of Monahan at any cost rather than looking at what we're getting in return for that. You know what I mean? No, Richard, that's how I feel that kind of.
That's Richard and I are good buddies now because of that, actually.
Do you think that's an idea? And look, I see his point, but I just think it is a good idea. But I think if Richard was to kind of realistically think about it, I think rightly so, it would be next year's first that you would be wanting to take that trade on, and then freeing up cap space in the process then as well.
Yeah, I like the idea of freeing up cap space and trying to get some futures in return, and so there's a good idea within that. I think that this year's first is not a good idea. Next year's first would be a better idea.
When we're hopefully drafting at a lower spot, hopefully.
It's a stronger draft as well,
It's a stronger draft, but the other thing is if we're, it's hard to say, but we are going to move on. Wayne Pratt says Kachuk for Tarasenko straight up.
Hey, can we just quickly? Can we just both go fucking no and okay? And so it was next. Then we had Jerry. Okay. Obviously the rumor came out last week that Kachuk wants out. How much do I believe it? I don't at all.
Nope.
Every NHL player eventually wants to end up in their hometown. I get it. That's not now.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Can I also just say that the Calgary, even here in fucking Ireland, I notice the Calgary Flames journalists are some of the fucking worst in the league as well.
They're brutal.
Always going against their own team and putting little sprinklings of bullshit in there. So
Eric Francis, right? Francis trends all the time on Twitter.
From a Columbus beat writer. I don't know why he's reporting on a St. Louis and Calgary trade that is probably not going to happen.
There you go.
Anyways, I don't put too much stock into that. That being said, Tarasenko is a right winger. He's an elite sniper when he's healthy.
Yep.
But I think Kachuk is younger. Kachuk has more to his game than Tarasenko has.
Definitely.
And Kachuk's ceiling is way higher.
Yeah.
I don't think that's worth it, especially with Tarasenko's injury problems.
No, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not entertaining.
But Tarasenko is the type of player that Calgary could use. We do need a first line right winger that can score.
Yeah, but we can look at other options with that one, but not with Matthew. So we move along.
And he's 29, right? Yeah. Making $7.5 million.
Yeah. And he's played I don't think he's played that much in the last 2 seasons. He's been hurt most. I think he was hurt most of the season this season.
Yeah.
Wow. Bye to that one. Thanks for the question though, or for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay, this is less of a.
I think he was just stirring up shit too. By the way, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
that's
me
fine.
too.
Anyways,
good job, so
our good friend Matthew Prasad, who's a fellow Flames Hub admin.
What's up, Matthew?
This is less of a mock trade and more of just an idea. He wants to know what we think of this. What could the Flames get for Johnny Gaudreau, and do we want picks or prospects or a roster player?
That's a good question.
For Johnny, I would say minimal, a first round and a prospect. Minimal.
Or a first round and a decent roster player.
Yeah.
One of those
somebody that's playing at least in the middle 6 for sure.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I think asking for a top 6 is kind of unrealistic if you're getting a first rounder as well. So middle 6 and a first rounder or really good.
And let's be honest. I mean, the hockey world, as far as journalists and the guys that talk about Gaudreau, he's elite, right? Yeah. They know he is elite.
Yeah.
Whether we choose to gripe about him in the playoffs because he gets pushed around, he has his moments like that. But when he's given the space, he is fucking elite.
Yep.
There's maybe 3 or 4 playmakers that are better than him with the puck, maybe in the entire league.
Yep.
So
I personally think
minimal at first. Yeah. And a reasonable return player or a top prospect.
And a first in next year's draft, you know what I mean? Not this year where you've actually got a bigger pool to pick from. But to be honest with you, I'm with I'm the more I think about it, I'm with Chris, and I've kind of changed my tune a little bit. I think this is the year where you really got to give Johnny the right pieces to put around them to fucking show.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
need
agree.
to find him players. I mean, like I said last episode, is it all hinges on whether or not Brad can get this extension done.
Yeah.
If he can, then you give Johnny a full season with Sutter, because I tell you, he sure amped it up when Sutter walked
He
in the
played
door.
really well. Yeah.
So if you get that extension done, brilliant. Build around it. Build around him and Kachuk. If you don't, then yeah, obviously he needs to trade him to get value. You need value for him. You can't have another, a Ginla calling the shots and we get fucking bent over the kitchen sink. Can't have that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We need to be in control of this. We
Yeah.
can't be losing players.
Either extend him for a fucking 7.5 or less, or trade him this summer.
Even if we can extend him for
like
2 years
August.
at $7 million, fine.
Yep.
Let's
I got a sneaky
extend him
feeling.
at something. And
I got a sneaky feeling that deal's done, guys. I don't know what it is,
It's-
but I got a feeling that they just can't announce it yet, obviously. So
Yeah. I could see that too.
I got a feeling that Johnny is all but concrete, ready to stay with the
I think
Flames.
so.
In
And-
terms
and-
of the
and-
terms, I don't know, but I feel
That's right. The terms will be interesting.
Yeah.
But I think it'll immediately tell you what he thinks of Daryl Sutter.
Yep,
Immediately.
absolutely.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, he loves him.
So let's
Like,
move
really.
on. Good question, Matthew. Moving on to
Yep.
Jerry George. Another good Flames. But actually, you know what? All these guys are good Flames Hub members. Anyways, Jerry George says this one's huge. Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, and Buffalo's first for Monahan, Matthew Tkachuk, Connor Zary, and our first, and Giordano with half the salary.
Wow.
Yeah.
This year's first and next year's second with Gio and holding half his salary. I mean, that's big. You want to shake up the core. I mean, why not get rid of your three of your top players for one?
And
Something.
Well,
Yeah.
and
two, I
your-
guess, with
yeah.
Reinhardt, but
and the first overall pick. I mean, I'm just not sold on. I mean, I really want the Flames to go after Eichel. I think we need a legit number one center. If it involves Matthew Tkachuk,
No.
no.
Yeah.
I
In my
like Reinhardt in this. I've said it. Me and myself and Chris have said it. Dylan, you have too. I like Reinhardt in the team. I think if there's a way of getting him in, don't forget, isn't he a free this year anyway?
no.
No, I think he
No.
actually. You know what? You should look that up, Chris. I'm pretty sure that he's restricted. I think he's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Yeah, but isn't it pending something this year? I'm pretty sure that he's got like I'm pretty sure he's gettable this year. I don't know where I read it.
Well, you'd have to give him
He's-
an offer sheet and give him a lot of picks for him. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
think it's possible.
actually, this is a good segue into the next one.
Yeah, he's
Jerry.
he's
that-
he's an
that
R,
is a
he's an
huge-
RFA.
He's an RFA. Yeah.
Jerry, that's a huge trade to talk about and to think about. I don't think any team is going to make any trade like that.
No.
I think Jack and Sam are going to different teams. They're both going to go, but I think they're going to different teams, and I don't think Buffalo wants to give up their first. But
I think we're gonna get.
I think
Sam
that is pretty
personally.
close to even.
It's going to be what it takes, right?
Yeah.
We're pretty close
Yeah,
to it.
exactly. It's going to be pretty close to what it takes.
I do
And-
see us
and,
getting Sam as the right winger, though. I gotta say, I don't know why. I just do.
I could see him making a move for Sam.
Yeah.
I personally, I mean, I understand that Eichel is an elite talent and you build your team around him. I don't want him at his price tag, and I don't
No.
want him coming from one of the most poorly run teams in the league. And there's just so much bad blood, and he's always like, he wants out of there. Like, I understand he wants out of there, but I mean, like, he doesn't have a winner's mentality, in my opinion. He hasn't been able to change the culture of that team. at all.
Do
In
you-
fact,
do
they've
you-
gotten worse.
Yeah,
I'm going to address your thought on the salary. There's been a lot of rumblings of no matter who gets Eichel, the Kraken are going to make it a three-way deal and take $1 million or $2 or $3 million or $2.5 million or something like
Interesting.
that.
Interesting.
For draft picks or prospects or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is what they should do, in all honesty, because that's
Yeah. What's his?
they're
What's his,
they're a team, in a flat cap era. They're one of the only teams that have salary cap, and they can weaponize the absolute fuck out of it. So why don't they?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
the reason
And
I'm-
he's
the reason I'm
10
so
mil
high
until
on-
2026, right?
who?
Yeah, and he's got
Okay.
a modified no
Yeah.
trade or no move or something like that coming up here in.
Not even
the-
modified. 22, 23, no move clause, not
Yeah.
modified.
I think the reason I'm so high on Sam Reinhart is because I think he's the kind of guy that will give you less problems. He gets the head down, and he is kind of that
Mhm.
top six
Okay.
winger. So I
So
think that's,
let's
that's
go
the
on to
move
the
I'd
next
like.
one because
No?
because this one is just Reinhardt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying. Okay, yeah. Jason Trojanowski says our first this year, straight up for Sam Reinhardt.
Yep.
I like that.
Every day. Every day.
I
I'm
like
on.
it too.
I'm on board with that. I don't know that Buffalo is, but
Yeah,
I am
I'm
on
not
board
a-
with that.
I am not a huge fan of Sam Reinhart as a number one. I think he'd be great for the top six, and I think
Mhm.
12th overall pick in this specific draft is a really fair price for Sam Reinhart.
Me too. I think that's an absolutely. I think that you know what. Who posed that trade?
Jason Trojanowski.
Jason, that's a hell of an idea. And look, even if we
That's a
had to
good
part,
show.
even if we had to part ways with something like a later pick or something just to really seal the deal, like a 6 or 7, I would be happy with that personally.
I wouldn't mind seeing him play with Backlund, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man, that would be a hell of a line.
That would be good.
That would be a hell of a line with Lindholm as
'Cause-
one and Backlund as a second.
And Mangiapane.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That'd be a hard working line.
That's
I
a
think.
lot of
That'd be
energy
a
in
really
that
hard
line.
working line.
Yeah.
And you've also
Yeah.
got a two-way line with two guys who can take face-offs
Yeah.
on it.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Two guys that can play the middle.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Sam Reinhart can play center as well, and he's not bad in that.
Absolutely.
Which would be good because we all know that Backlund gets kicked out of the dot a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, that's a good shout, Jason.
Really good shout, Jason. That's my
thanks-
favorite.
thanks for
That's my
bringing that
favorite mock trade so far.
Okay. And going on to Greg, another regular shout out to Greg. Monahan for either Arvidsson or Raquel.
Yes, please.
Raquel, please. Yep.
I'm good with either.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah, with
That's-
either
that's-
or, yeah.
The one thing I'm going to say about it is, again, I don't know if Anaheim's looking. I think they're looking to sell for draft picks or something like that. And if you look at Nashville's center depth, you want to take a look at Chris. You want to bring up Cap Friendly and take a look at their centers and how ridiculously overpriced they are.
For who?
Nashville.
Nashville. Yeah.
Just while Chris is looking at that, the
Yeah.
reason I kind of brought up Raquel before as well is he is a Swede. It fits the modus operandi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've got a lot of them, and they seem to all get along and like each other.
Fits in absolutely perfectly. And then if you look at Anaheim, they're about to lose Getzlaff this year, so they need a center as well. Definitely an experienced one, depending on what route they want to go. So I could see that trade makes a lot of sense to me too.
Yep. Yeah, no, I do like it. I just don't know if Anaheim would want to go for it. But
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if
Yeah,
that's a
100%.
possibility, then yes.
Yeah.
You got that up, Chris?
So you said Nashville and how much they're paying centers?
Yeah.
It's not that much.
Oh no. Okay.
No.
I guess did they get rid of Johansson?
They have him. He's 8 mil, and then they have Matt Duchene at 8 mil,
16. Yeah.
and then
Interesting.
And then after that, they have Colton Sissons. He's at 2.8.
So here's my question about that then.
Okay.
If they've got 16 mil in their top two centers,
Mhm.
And then
For
they
a
bring
long
in
time
Monahan,
too, by the way.
yeah, and then they bring in Monahan, who's
6 point.
probably going to play second, second or third for them.
Yeah.
Then they've, in their top three centers, they've got what's that, 24.75 mil on centers, and then they have the same problem we have, which is there's no logical spot to put Monahan.
Yeah, it's just a piece for the sake of a piece.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
because that automatically puts Sissons is definitely right wing. Luke Kunin, same thing. Right wing, and he's at 2.3.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
However, I am going to say if we can make a move for Arvidsson or Raquel,
yeah.
As long as it doesn't cost us an arm and a leg, I would do it. I just don't think either of those teams want Monahan.
I don't think they do
for what they're giving them
either per se.
Do you think Anaheim might take Monahan and maybe a third or fourth rounder for Raquel?
That's a possibility, right? They're rebuilding, so they get a very similar player, even a player that they could flip for another pick.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. They think that
I
win.
just don't think they want him for their roster.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. I'm just thinking out loud.
But they could.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I usually am. So Anyways, let's move on. Veer, our good friend Veer Callan. He says,
I know.
Wow, there's a lot of Monahan ones here. Monahan for Josh Norris, straight up to Ottawa.
I mean, it's good for Cap.
We gotta be getting a little bit.
Really, who does Ottawa have for center?
What's that? Sorry.
Who does Ottawa have playing center? Do they even have a center?
I think. Sometimes they have Brady playing center because he takes draws.
Right.
You'd have to. Connor Brown.
Right.
I'd want to be getting a bit more than that personally.
They do need a center.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
If it was like Monahan for Norris and a fourth or a third or then yeah.
I don't mind that pick because of the Cap relief. And I mean Norris has got I think he could possibly fit in well here. Where is he at? Let me find him here because that's actually interesting for me.
Yeah.
I want to see what his contract is.
I really like the player. And honestly, if it was straight up, I wouldn't be crushed, but I do think we could get more than just him. I think we could get a mid-round pick or a B prospect or something like that.
Well. Him in his second round or something, right?
Yeah. Or even him in a second rounder for Monahan and a third or a fourth or something like that. Even
sure. Yeah. Because he's So he's what, 21, 22. He's 22.
He's young, yeah.
Yeah, like I would definitely want the negotiations there with Brad and that.
And he has one more year on his one more year on his, and then he's an RFA. Yeah. And he's like 925.
Oh, he's on his ELC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I like the idea. Do you think Ottawa would pull the trigger on a potential second line guy moving in? Because I kind of think that's where North will end up, and Ottawa will be on their second line.
Well, I think Monahan would end up on their first. To be honest,
I have a really cool
they don't
one
have
here.
A center.
Yeah, I have a really cool one here from a friend of mine. That said, it's actually my friend. Ted, and he
Yeah,
said, because this actually makes a lot of sense, guys. Because as you know, Nolan Patrick wants to leave. Obviously, the
yep.
Flyers,
Philly.
and this kind of makes sense to me in a way because he's got 2 more years left on pretty low contract. I think he's on about 2.2 or something like that. A trade straight up with him and Money. um, and because obviously we're getting cap space in that deal as well. Both players have not really been up to much, but at the same time, we're getting a younger player who it could possibly work out in that deal. You know what I mean? So we're actually kind of getting more leverage from that. I don't know. I think
it's higher risk for the Flames. That one, I like that in theory. Again, I think we could get a little bit more than Patrick, but
well, yeah, but we could.
I think also he fits more on our team because he's a player who could benefit from third line minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he would be our third line center, let's say.
And plus the upside is that, you've got him for 2 years. You could, if he reaches his potential.
He's an RFA, yeah.
If he reaches his potential.
He's an RFA right now.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
So then
he doesn't have a contract right now.
You could do a deal with him then. I mean, that's not a bad.
And so who did he say to trade to Philly?
Monahan. Straight up.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, I think like the thing is Patrick was a first overall pick. So
yeah.
Philly is going to overvalue him just based on that number, like kind of like we did.
Second overall, wasn't he? I think he was second overall, but yeah.
Was he either way?
No, he was first. He was first, I believe.
Yeah, for some reason I think he was first. I could be wrong.
Let's go to the hot sheets.
Yeah, but also the thing is, like in Bennett's case, he's already basically on the Philly sheets anyway. They're basically saying that he's asked for a trade. He's told management that he wants a trade, and it's leaked. So automatically your value drops.
Yeah.
Your Jersey picked first in that round or in that year.
Oh, so he was second to Hughes.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Hughes, another guy who's the top two in that draft have definitely underwhelmed so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good show. I kind of like that trade.
I don't mind that either.
I think we could probably get a third or something like that out of it as well.
Yeah.
Or again, a B prospect, but just because Monahan's more proven, even though he's been injured, I think he's a little bit more proven.
I think that trade kind of kills two birds with one stone. You're getting a guy in who is obviously going to be full of piss and vinegar and wanting to rejuvenate his career. And obviously Monahan will want to do the same in a different place, but then you're getting a young Nolan Patrick in who's still only 22 and wants to prove something to the world after that. And you're getting.
Does anybody know why his second contract was less than his first?
Probably because he was hurt all the time, wasn't he?
He was hurt, yeah.
Concussions, I think.
The head, the old head. But he's had good time off, and doctors have told him that he's good to go. So I personally think it's. I mean, Money's doing nothing anyway at the moment.
Yeah, and this. I mean, yeah. No, I like that one.
Like absolute bare minimum this last year, right? $874,125. I think if they could have paid him less, they would have. Right?
That's a really random number. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the absolute lowest they could have gone.
We've got one more. I just wanted to make we've got a couple more, but I just wanted to make another quick shout on Veer's Monahan for Norris thing. I think another reason we might be able to get more is because Monahan played his junior career for the Ottawa 67s.
True.
And he liked it there. So if they're looking at a future top two center or a current top two center for their team who probably wants to stay. You know what I mean? So I think
it's fairly close to home for him too, right?
Yeah, he's from the GTA, I think, somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
Veer, that's a good show.
Yeah. And another one from Veer. This one's a lot bigger. He says Kachuk, Dubé, and a second for Forsberg, Granlund, and Eli Tolvanen. Tolvanen.
Toivonen. That's how you say it. Now I get the chance to say it. Now I get a chance to give you correct European pronunciation. Toivonen.
Yeah. There you go. And
That's
I think he's a really good looking prospect for Nashville, who's a right winger. I don't know if he's a right shot or not, but he's pretty highly touted. At least he was pretty highly touted in his draft year. I don't know how that's progressed because I don't pay a whole bunch of attention to the Predators.
I don't like that deal. I gotta say I don't. I gotta say just for anybody out there, I'm not shitting on your trades, but like I will not entertain a deal for Chucky this year. I think that story is unwritten. Personally,
I think we need to see what he does with Daryl, but I mean nobody's off limits 100% if the right deal comes along, but that one's that I think we're giving up too much on that one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's a untouchable. I think
except for Milan Lucic, right? Sorry, I had to get it in.
Right. But what Chris was saying is true. Like, if you get the right deal, if somebody blows you out of the water with a Kachuk trade, then you pull that trigger. But I think that for once in his career, Brad Treliving overvaluing one of his players is a good thing with Matt.
Yes.
And unless Buffalo calls and says we want Chucky in your first this year and you can have Eichel, that's it.
Yeah, that's the only deal, man.
And
obviously, I know like, that's not going to
happen. For me, Dylan Dubé, like I'm really biased because I really like his game, and he's just an inch off of being a 25 goal scorer this fucking year. Never mind his ceiling. I think his ceiling is super high. He goes to corners. He's fast as fuck, and he's been proven to have good leadership qualities. He can play center. He can play right.
Yeah,
he's young.
He's also an inch away from being crippled in the boards because of how he plays.
Yeah,
because he does not do well at protecting himself. Right,
he gets
banged around. Exactly the same.
Head down all the time, right?
Yeah, like he's an inch away from having a career-ending injury because he doesn't know how to protect himself when he's trying to go get the puck.
That's very true, Chris. I've noticed that.
I really had high hopes for Dubé. I really did, and the last 2 seasons, I spend more time going, holy fuck, he's gonna die out there.
Fair.
I
still think
Dylan made that point though. Dylan made a great point in the. I think it was actually at the start of this season, maybe in the off season. Dylan, you and me were texting, and I think we had said it, weren't we? Or maybe it was in the playoffs. I think last year. We both said it was like
too fast for his brain.
Yeah, his brain doesn't know what his feet are fucking doing, and I think that kind of lends itself to what Chris is saying when you think about it. Is that when he gets up there, the fucking head is down. He's basically putting his body on the line.
He's focused on the puck, right?
Yeah, dude.
It's like watching 5-year-olds play soccer.
Right? Sure.
Yeah. They just
look at the ball.
Get 10 people, just look down and get the ball. Go get the ball. Go get the ball. Go get the puck. Dylan, go get the puck. Okay, coach. I'll go get the puck.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Another thing I like about Dubé too is he grew up in Canmore. If anybody on the team is gonna, like you say, all NHL players want to play at home. If anybody's gonna want to stay here long term at a hometown discount, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, I envision him being, a 10-year third line. I think in 5 years, 3 years, maybe he may fluctuate between second and third. I don't put him that high personally myself.
Really?
But,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I think Mangiapane's ceiling is a little bit more. Would you rate him a bit more?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mange will be on the second line this year for the full season.
Okay.
Unless he does something egregious, but he's on the second line.
If he's not, then that is Sutter's job. Like,
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
So all that being said, for me, anyways, Forsberg, I would love Forsberg. If this trade right here was, even though I love Dubé, if this was Gaudreau, Dubé in a second, I would pull that trigger. But Kachuk ceiling's too high. Again, Gaudreau is elite. I love Gaudreau, but I'd rather keep Kachuk and let Gaudreau go.
Looking at that trade
very
too.
Similar numbers.
Yeah, him and Johnny and Forsberg are damn close. Personally, myself, I would drop the Granlund, and I do, because I honestly think, because you and I have talked about this, Dylan, a few times. Johnny and Forsberg just straight off.
Yeah.
So I think those two cancel each other out. Dubé in a second, maybe, or how about Dubé in a third? Not for Grant. I mean, I guess they could throw Granlund in, and then we can trade him away. I really don't have much use for him.
Yeah, I like Granlund as a middle six, but Calgary's problem is they're all
it's not middle
forwards.
Six. Yeah.
They're all middle six forwards.
That's right. We have too many. Exactly. Line up.
We need a top six forward. So there's definitely something in there to work in. Tolvanen again, or say it.
Toivonen.
Yeah.
So, do you have to say it in an Irish accent as well? Toivonen.
I'm doing.
He's
I'm trying to be.
He's a good looking prospect.
Yeah, he's a good.
That's
prospect,
a really
right?
good one for just causing conversation and that's a good starting point for Brad. And is it still David Poyle over there in Nashville?
I think so.
And anyways, it's a good starting point for those two to do that. Good show. Probably.
Yeah, it's a good conversation. I would agree with that. Yeah, like if you bring more to the table, then you can cancel out the kind of bits that you don't want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can probably come to an agreement. That's a great shout, Dylan.
Yeah. Okay, so Jesse Williams says
great
Johnny Gaudreau and a second for Brady Tkachuk and a third.
Oh, I'm all over that.
I'd be all over that too. I'd do that in a fucking instant. But
fucking right on.
Yeah. But Ottawa wouldn't.
There's no way Ottawa's pulling the trigger on that. No,
Ottawa wants Tkachuk to be their captain. Like he's probably like
they're trying to build their team around him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're all over that. It's a great NHL 21 fucking trade.
Do I want Brady Tkachuk? Yeah. I want him more than his brother, to be honest with you. So I think there's a higher ceiling for Brady. But
remember a few minutes ago, I was saying Brad Treliving overvaluing Matthew Tkachuk is good. Yeah. Well, the same over there.
Yeah.
There's no way they get. Why would you get rid of them?
I honestly don't believe, Chris, that he has a higher ceiling. I think he's just
1 second. I got it. My headphones just died. I got to turn this back up.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't really, go ahead, Chris. I don't know. I don't think. I don't value him higher. I've heard some people say yay, some people say nay. I personally,
it's kind of a coin flip, right?
It is. I honestly do think Matthew is like one good season away of being a regular fucking, 90+ point scorer without shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right. When it comes to ceiling, you're absolutely right.
I think. You know what? Like, I think they actually
they're both fucking awesome. Let's be real.
They have a much different play style. Like,
yes,
I think Matthew, like they're both gritty, but I think Brady is more of a playmaker, and Matthew is more of he wants to score on every time he gets the puck.
Yeah.
And I don't. I
think Matthew has higher hockey IQ.
Yes, I mean
he's always thinking about what he should
year
be
was
doing,
pretty shit, to be fair. But I mean, it was just a shit year that I want to write off. You know what I mean? It's like that year that it's like that day at the park that you have and you didn't enjoy it, but it doesn't mean you hate the fucking park itself. It was the circumstances, and then you go back and you're like, shit, let's go and have a great day, and you do. And I think when it comes to like, I've heard some hockey experts, say this. And it's always going to happen when it's two brothers, but there's not a whole age gap. There's like a 2-year age gap. And it's like, I don't think Matching Kachuk's value, I still think he's got just as good a ceiling as Brady, and I think Dylan made a great point there that they're two different players. It's like it's like comparing a defender to a fucking winger. You know what I mean? Just
not quite that, but
not quite that, but
yeah.
but you know what I mean.
They're
You know
two
what I'm
different
trying to say.
players.
You know the point I'm trying to make is that it's like
they have the same shit in their blood.
They're fighters, like, you know what I mean.
They have different, like I said, one's a playmaker.
Skill sets, just different skill sets. Completely.
They're both power forwards. But like
Yeah. I know. I agree. I think they're both good, and I don't think one is 100% better than the other.
Yeah.
You know.
Talking about brothers, I know this is off topic, and it's a team that we all hate. But shout out to the Vancouver Canucks for hiring the Sedin brothers, because I think that's going to be really good for them.
Like just to have them as statues in the head office, they're not going to do fuck all.
I don't think I think they're going to do a little bit. I think they're there to learn. They're there to eventually take the team somewhat over. But I don't. Yeah. I mean, for the first couple of years, they're probably just going to learn. But I think plus it's good for the city to have them there.
It is good for the city to have them, right? Like Trevor Linden's not there anymore, right?
No.
Because I thought he would do a better job than he did, but obviously, it's the same as the Oilers bringing in fucking Gretzky to sit in the office with his thumb in his ass and not actually do anything. Yes, he looks pretty in the corner. He's done some great things for the franchise. Does he do anything when it comes to hockey operation deals? Does he have conversations with agents? No, doesn't do any of that shit. He's just there to be the guy in front of the camera. I mean, it's cool that they have him there, but. And I don't think they're going to do much. I think
I still love Gretzky though. Sorry, guys.
Bringing up,
we all do
too. So there was other news today. I know we have one more mock trade that's a 3-parter, but we'll get to that in a second. There was more news today. So we all know Wayne Gretzky got hired. I can't remember what network it was, but he's going to be an analyst of some sort. And there was word today, I don't know if you guys heard, but Messier is now going to be an analyst for a competitor of Gretzky's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Gretzky's.
That's interesting.
That sounds good, man. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, TNT.
I think Messier
I'd imagine it was TNT, right? Because that TNT deal for NHL is pretty fucking huge. So
I think Messier is going to be better because Messier is going to say what's on his mind. Gretzky's just going to be fucking nice about everything.
That's right. Gretzky's very politically correct, where Messier is going to be more of a. I mean, he's good with the media as well, but I think
what you're saying is it's like this show. It's like Dylan and Ian. I'm the Messier.
Yeah.
Dylan's the Gretzky. Dylan's the nice
guy.
Yeah,
I'm super political.
Well, just in everything, just in every like you got Dylan, like he's got the hands and the finesse, and I mean, let's be honest. I mean, his trade talks are scoring goals all the time.
Yeah.
And then you just come in, just fucking elbows flying, right?
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah, I'm
Theo Fleury going on.
Yeah, I suppose Messier did have a couple of points in his career too, right?
Maybe 1 or 2.
I'll bring up plenty of good points. No, I think that's a good shout, Dylan. I mean, I think it's going to be exciting next year as from a fan's perspective with hockey, because obviously you got TNT, they have that new deal. Because AEW wrestling went from Fridays to they got moved. So I wonder, is it Messier that's with TNT or possibly Gretzky, because I know that they do syndications. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know one of them.
I
can't remember which station each one is on, but they're both American stations.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I know a little bit about syndication through pro wrestling, so I'm thinking that that makes sense, because TNT is obviously Turner Broadcasting, so they obviously are going to throw a shitload of money at it, and NBC obviously with the deal that they've made, which we'll talk about, I suppose, at a later date. But NBC obviously are coming back with a bang with hockey, so it feels to me that someone in TNT is at to throw some money at this, and that's what it is. It's the two rival networks. So NBC and TNT. One of them is at to getting Gretzky. One of them is at to getting Messier. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So Gretzky went to Turner. And,
Turner, I was right. There we go.
They both. So Messier went to. Or sorry, Gretzky went to Turner, and and Messier went to ESPN.
Yeah, which is NBC.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? That's when you know your shit, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I won't see either one of them, right? Because I don't watch any American broadcasts ever, because I find them to be fucking annoying.
Well, I live in Ireland, so I have no choice.
Everything they do is like a Fox Sports fucking TV. I hate it. I just can't watch it. It's just,
unfortunately, I live in Ireland.
They try to make the show more
than
hockey. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Boiler sports.
But the big one that I use, the .ir, I'm pretty sure comes from your motherland.
Hey, don't worry. Dylan always hooks me up. I'm saying nothing. We're live, pal.
Right.
So what's the final trade?
Move on?
Yeah.
Our final trade, it's actually a 3-parter, and it's really big, so we'll probably just do each part separately, even though he kind of wants it to be one following the next. It's Drew Persham, who was on our show last week. But he says Monahan, Shillington, and a second for Philip Forsberg and Colton Sissons.
I mean, that's big, right?
Yeah,
a little bit, but it's fine.
Yeah,
and that's a big trade.
Yep, I like it. I'm a huge fan of Philip Forsberg. We have a lot of left wingers, but if we do that, you can always, Kachuk and Gaudreau can be on the first line and Forsberg on the second line. Geez, that's killer.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking.
And Sissons is a fantastic, bottom six player.
I think that's what gets
Shillington
that deal
is a
cut,
pending
to be honest.
RFA and a second pick.
Yeah, I think the Sissons.
What gets the deal cut?
I think Sissons, to be honest with you. I think that's where Nashville says no.
Yeah.
I honestly do. I mean, like Shillington is like, how the fuck is Shillington? Like, Shillington isn't a trade piece at all.
No.
It's just like, take him away so you don't have to negotiate with his ass anymore. Like, he doesn't have a contract anymore. Like, just fucking get rid of him.
So
he doesn't play.
Monahan for Forsberg and the second for Sissons.
Yeah,
basically,
which obviously isn't going to happen, right?
No.
Yeah, like if it was another, it's funny that we were talking about Shillington as a prospect at his age now, but that's all he is, a potential prospect, maybe on another team, not on this one.
Yeah.
He needs to just fuck off and go away.
I'm a fan of his, honestly. I know we talked about this before. I'm a big fan of Shillington's. He really reminds me of Brody, but he's not getting.
But the thing is, Daryl's not a fan.
And, that's what everybody said about that too. But he's not.
Yeah. I mean, he has a very
played a game or two in a row and then got 3 weeks off and
yeah. Well, that's right, and it's been the same. It was the same with Bill Peters. It was the same with, so it was the same with Bill Peters. Same with Jeff Ward. Same with Daryl. So I mean, yes, you are absolutely correct. His game is very similar to Brody, just not near the level.
No,
right? Like, that's the one thing. Like, that is honestly, in my opinion, one of the ones that got away that I think we're going to regret. I already regret it. He was one of my favorite defensemen on the team.
Yeah.
like
Brody?
and for years. Yeah.
Yeah.
My Brody jersey because I don't want to wear it, but I can't really wear it anymore.
Yeah, like that was just piss poor management by Brad, not being able to either get a deal done or not get something for it.
At
Like
least an asset of some sort
something.
instead
Yeah.
of just everybody was going to Toronto. Toronto needed D, and anyways,
That's right.
I
I mean,
played.
he knew he
yeah,
wasn't
I
going to
mean,
be signing with us
I
before the end of last year. So get something for him at the trade deadline. Something like
Yeah.
fuck Brad. Jesus Christ, he just pisses me off sometimes.
You know what?
You know?
I played the fifth on that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he was legit. He was on our number one pairing for years, and you just let him walk away. You fucking
and he
idiot.
played so good with Giordano. I
We
think he
gotta
made
revisit
Giordano.
it.
I think
We
they made
we gotta
each
revisit
other-
it. Maybe have some talks. Make some phone calls. It's gonna be great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you can't tell me you couldn't have at least got a second round
It
for
starts.
TJ.
It all starts with me. It all starts with me, and it all starts next week. The buck
Yeah.
stops with me. I'm the guy.
Jesus.
What? Why do today what you can put off till tomorrow?
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again,
Yeah, you
expecting
keep
different
doing that
results.
Stupid fucking imitation.
The fucking good imitation, you little fucking Canadian fuck.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah.
You little mountain man.
For
we take
freedom.
I honestly think if we take Sissons and Shillington out of that trade and switch that second for a third, I think maybe that gets it done.
Yeah.
Monahan
Potential.
and a third for Forsberg.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
But
I think
that's true. But
maybe Nashville. I don't really know.
so then that puts Monahan still on
Again with
their
Nashville.
third. Yeah. So that's again with Monahan playing their third line.
Yeah. And that's
I think
just
you're right,
not-
Dylan. I think the best trade piece we have for Monahan is Ottawa. I obviously know that he played in Ottawa for his junior, but just didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
That
I think
was
he's
a really
right.
good.
I think
Yeah,
he's
that was
right.
a good shout out. I like that.
He was the captain there too for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Dylan hasn't Brad we don't know this for sure, but hasn't Brad basically trying to offload
I think you know what?
Monahan?
I
for a while?
think that there's going to be a big splash for us, and I think there's going to be a bunch of big splashes, right? Like 2 days after the Stanley Cup's handed out.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And I think Monahan's going to be one of those pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, on to Drew's next piece of this trade. He says, give the Kraken a second rounder to take Giordano.
Get it done.
Yes.
Do you think a second?
I think that's too high.
Me too.
I think maybe a third, but
I'd be
I think if we can, a second's too high. I mean, I think a third for that.
Third or fourth,
Yeah.
realistically. Yeah.
Yeah, if we do a third and retain like 500,000, fine. Which they're not going to need any retention anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I mean, it's a brilliant idea.
And that's something I've been saying for a while is the Kraken are gonna, just like the Knights did, except even more because of the flat cap. The Kraken are gonna have to weaponize their cap space, and why not do it with by gaining
why not?
draft picks to take a player who's still relatively effective that a team doesn't want anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would be an
anyways,
asset
the
to somebody
last
too.
piece,
You know?
big one. Sorry?
And he would be an asset to somebody too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. As a leader in Seattle, as especially if Seattle, like everybody's saying Dougie Hamilton to Seattle, as a free agent or as a trade piece or whatever, but that's a top pairing that has proven chemistry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Why
I'd
not?
agree with that.
Know what I mean?
That's a good show. Yeah, good show.
So Drew's final piece of this trade is actually including Boston, which came out of nowhere to me for me,
Right.
even though DeBrusque has been linked to Calgary before. But he says
sure his dad-
Dubé and Valimaki for DeBrusque and DeBrusque and McAvoy.
Yeah, I do that trade.
Yeah.
I think that is a very lateral move for no
Yep.
apparent reason. I think what did you say earlier, Chris? You said moving a piece for the sake of moving a piece or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's at that last episode, right? And then, but yeah, I like the move just for some difference.
I like
Um,
McAvoy as well. I gotta say.
I mean,
I really like.
I like McAvoy as well, and I like what Drew put there, you know, at DeBrusque just to piss off his old man, right?
Yeah.
So he would have to give him shout outs when you're playing them, right?
Yeah.
All the time. It would be brilliant. Obviously, you know, everybody has the ceiling up in the clouds for Valimaki. Dylan, you and I have spent a lot of time talking about him together. He proved me wrong-ish as far as his injury concern last year, which is good. He didn't prove me wrong as far as his play.
No.
He's still struggling.
He's struggling.
He's struggling. But I mean, who was he playing with all year, right?
What about a full
wasn't-
season under Daryl though? You know what I mean? Like this is
I don't know that Valimaki is a Daryl guy.
no.
Like he's not a.
I don't think.
But people said the
either.
same about Johnny Gaudreau, though. You know.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I do think Valimaki's ceiling is not low. I think
No.
it's quite high.
Me too.
I just don't. It's taking a while, and like he had a year off because he was hurt, and he's obviously been stifled by that. But then he came into a men's league in Europe at the beginning of the year, and he literally led the entire league in points.
Yeah.
For a long time. For the majority of the time he was there, he led the entire fucking league in points as a defenseman. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the potential's there, but I don't know. I like the kid, but I don't know if he's. I just don't know how to explain it or really what to think of him. You know.
Yeah, he's an odd one, isn't he? Like, yeah. I mean, I want him.
I personally, guys, I know
Dude.
I'm struggling for words on it as well, but I personally do believe that I would like to see him with the right pairing and a settled pairing. I would like to see him get a year under Daryl. I really would, and then maybe reevaluate. I still think he's got something.
Yeah.
I mean,
at the end of the year, he's only played 73 games, right?
Exactly,
He hasn't even had
dude.
a full
Exactly.
season.
And I mean, he showed me a lot of fucking stuff when he got up to try and defend his teammate, and he went for Kara that time, and he's not a fighter, but he fucking got up and he did it when
Yeah, good point.
when your captain wouldn't do it, or look to do it.
Here's another thing with Valimaki. I mean, obviously McAvoy's a much better defender than Valimaki at this point in their careers. They have very high ceilings, and I like that trade. You know what? I'd probably do it. I just don't really see why either team does that. But
Right.
but for Valimaki, like if Giordano gets taken or traded, then there's a spot, and you know who does wonders with young defensemen is Chris Tanev. Did wonders for Quinn Hughes.
Yep.
Did wonders for Noah Hannafin.
Yep.
Maybe it's Uso's turn.
I actually think looking at Hannafin, when it first came along,
I'd be reluctant to let them go. Sorry, go.
No, I was just going to say, like a lot of people initially, people thought that Noah Hannafin would be that elite level defenseman, and I think after looking at him playing with Tanev, he's kind of back to that potential again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for a little while it was kind of like, oh, I don't know whether Noah Hannafin's just going to be a top 4 guy now, or threatening, teasing us, if you will, to being an elite level defenseman. I think now that he's played with Tanev, I think he's absolutely on the way once again. Personally, I don't know whether you guys agree or disagree.
Noah actually said, and I don't know if it was an interview he did with a radio show. Actually, I think it was with Spit and Chicklets for some reason.
Spit and Chicklets,
I could be wrong. But anyways, he did an interview, and he actually straight up said, my confidence was shot until I started playing with Chris Tanev, and then, like, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But he said his confidence was shot until he started playing with Chris Tanev, and now he sees himself as the player that everybody thought he was going to be.
And so do I.
And me too.
It was like a flip switched, right?
Last year last offseason, we should capitalize. Yeah, absolutely. I was saying we should capitalize on Noah's value because he had a ton of value, and I didn't think he was as good as people thought he was or thought he was going to be. I think that it takes sometimes a guy like Chris Tanev to elevate somebody to give them that kick in the ass.
But this is where the human being comes in, though.
But I'll admit I was wrong with Noah Hannafin. Like, he's turned out to be pretty fun.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. This is where the human being comes in from it, and where the team comes from. Because in a lot of senses, we see it in football as well over here. There's this player that has potential, and they kind of get to 23, 24, and they're kind of losing that potential. They're like, oh, well, he's not becoming what he is. And then all of a sudden, I've seen it this year, just not to go off topic with hockey, but even with my football team, who Chris obviously watched, we had some players, and by the way, Chelsea are the Champions League winners, European champions, which is the Stanley Cup in football, you know what I mean, for club teams. But it's the same thing. I watched certain players that you knew had potential, and you're going, I think next season we got to get rid of this guy. Boom. A seasoned veteran from Brazil comes in Thiago Silva, who a lot of American fans will know who he is. And just by the mere presence of this man, this guy comes up and goes, boom, and blossoms. You know what I mean? And I think that's the same. It's the same in hockey. It's the same in football. I think the problem in a lot of American and Canadian sports as well is, and we're all guilty of it, is that we just look at stats. We look at, numbers, and we just look at it on the dot. We don't take the human element of it and say, it could take a guy like Chris Tanev to come in, and just by him being around somebody like Noah Hannafin.
We went through that with TJ and God, what's his name? Oh, am I forgetting his name? Just went to Vancouver.
Oh,
defensive. Yes, Hamonic. God, sorry, Hamonic. The TJ and Hamonic debacle, like that was brutal, and the fact that they kept them together.
On paper, those two players should produce together.
They should have.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point, come mid-season, you have to tell yourself this isn't fucking working, right? And make that move.
Yeah.
But that's the point I'm making. You
Yep.
know what I mean? It's easy for us to kind of look at the stats, and we do that, and we look at stats, plus minus. We look at all this. All it
Mhm.
takes is a
Mhm.
switch and something in the locker room that we don't follow. You
That's
know
right.
what I mean? Because you
Yeah,
guys are
stuff you don't hear
sportsmen.
about.
You guys have played sports. All it takes is just one guy to give you that little bit of confidence, and this is, and you're
Yeah.
like, whoa. And then, or a trade somewhere, and a guy goes and fucking prospers purely because he's with the right component. You know what I mean? That
Look at
fits.
Bennett.
Yeah,
Look at Bennett.
yeah,
He got opportunities. He got a lot of opportunities. Contrary to what some people think, I think he got tons of opportunities. He never flourished. He got traded, and he flourished because he got a fire lit under his ass, and he got played with the right people, and he
exactly.
has somebody like Barkov who can teach him. You know,
That's exactly the point I
it's
was making,
and
Dylan. That's
back
exactly
to
it.
the point about Tanev. Yeah, and back to the point about Tanev as well. Like, there's a reason the team in Vancouver called him dad. There's a reason that JT Miller, made a comment. Now we don't know if it's exactly about Tanev, but he said some of the players that got traded or didn't get re-signed, it upset the room in Vancouver. And I'm pretty sure he's like, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he was talking about Chris Tanev and probably Markstrom and whoever else, Tyler Toffoli. But like,
Yeah,
Chris
I
Tanev,
wouldn't. Tanev's
if you
he's a
call
leader, right?
somebody dad, there's a
Tanev
fucking
is the
reason
leader,
for
dude.
it.
Yeah.
Tanev is the leader. And look, I think Brad deserves all the praise in the
Absolutely.
world for getting that deal done, because I know they overpaid for Tanev as well, and I know like that's the topic of a lot of Flames podcasts. But to me, I don't give a shit. The fact is that he's there and he's become an integral part of that Flames dressing room now and how they
Mhm.
play. That guy is a superstar every day of the week. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Playing with broken ribs. I cannot say enough good things about Chris Tanev. I think he's an absolutely yeah. He's my guy. He's a guy that I want on my team. 1,000,000%.
Absolutely.
That's right. If you had 6 Tanevs
Yeah.
and 12 um, Luches on your team, be unstoppable.
Oh, dude, that's exactly it. Luch and Tanev this year, just for pure heart and determination
That's
is
right.
Yep.
yeah.
Kick the shit out of anybody.
I knew there was going to be a number 17 job in here somewhere.
You got to get it in, man. Got to get it in.
Hey.
You got to have the sand people in there, right?
Absolutely, brother.
Quick shout out. I know this is off topic again, but quick shout out. Another piece of news that came out today. Alec Martinez played the entire playoffs with a broken goddamn foot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, I mean, I've played baseball with a broken foot. If you can get your foot into your boot, it's not that bad. I mean, don't get me. It's not good, but it's not. I'd rather have broken foot than a broken rib.
Yeah, broken ribs is a different story, but still, neither is good.
Neither is ideal. Yeah.
But look,
Yeah.
I think we should probably wrap this week's episode up now.
For sure.
I think we've covered a lot of stuff today, to be fair. And this is what we say, guys. Just because there's no Flames news doesn't mean we're not going to bring you Flames news and potential Flames news. And I've had some fun looking at some of these mock trades as well. And
yeah, a lot of good fan interaction this time, guys.
Absolutely,
really loving it. Keep us going. Give us topics for every week. We could use all the stuff. I know Greg's a pretty regular member there. Veer with a good offer in there. Drew, there's some good proposals, as we will, like even Jesse and whatnot. And obviously from our Flames Hub group too, there's Richard, even though we gave him shit right off the hop, but it was good, right? And
all
Wayne
in good, all in good
us
fun, all in good fun.
100%, yeah, 100%.
And I think anybody, everybody that took the time out to think of a potential trade and kind of share it with us, and put yourselves on the firing line in some way, shape, or form. We absolutely appreciate that. So
100%. And
Appreciate
I don't, yeah, it's good to have that interaction. And I don't know if you guys know how YouTube works, but there's a subscribe button down below. Go ahead and smash that a few times. Send it off to your friends, get them to do the same. Throw it around Twitter, throw it around Facebook, throw it around wherever you want. Try Reddit. We don't give a shit.
that's
Just keep it going in the name of the Flames, right?
We are the Flaming Puck. You can find us, of course, on YouTube under the Dynamo Podcast Network. And we also have a Flaming Puck group on Facebook. And of course, if you are a Flames fan or just a proper hockey fan and you want to join the Flames Hub, please do. And some great interaction. There's always some great chat there. Everybody interacts in a human manner. So please present yourself accordingly, and we'll be happy to go back and forth on it. I think we can all agree on that, boys, right?
Sure. All good discussions.
Absolutely, dude. But until next week, the Stanley Cup Finals are upon us, guys.
Yep, starting tomorrow.
And
so sorry. Let's run through that again. Ian, who did you say is going to win and how many games?
I said the winner of the Stanley Cup is going to win by 4-2.
Yeah, and who was led by? I can't remember. You said Tampa, did you?
Yeah, he just said Tampa.
I did.
Okay,
I was trying to back out of it again.
Yeah, I know you were. I saw that. And then Dylan had the Habs winning in Game 7, and I have Tampa winning in Game 7. Yeah. Sorry. I just did the math for everybody. Yeah.
And honestly, like let's just remove Corey Perry from the team and then cheer for the Habs.
You're gonna have to remove the Montreal out of the team for me, Dylan. Sorry.
Yeah, let's get the Canadians out of the team for me. We'll just cheer the Lightning.
I mean, win or lose, they're still gonna destroy downtown Montreal. So I guess that's a good thing, right? Fucking idiots.
Let's quickly mention that. That's weak. Don't do that. That's stupid. Be happy about your team. Don't destroy your fucking city.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Don't
it.
be losers.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. We have a lot of that over here in Dublin as well. Don't be fucking destroying your city. It's your city and it's our city. So
right.
let's go. And for anybody that was offended for me calling Dylan a Canadian fuck, it's all in good fun. He's slagging my impersonation of Brad Treliving, eh? So but look, it's always going to be jibes on this show. This is why it's fun. This is a Calgary Flames fan show by the fans for the fans. So, like we say, anything that you got, anything that you're disappointed in, anything that you don't like about the show, even though you've listened to it, hell, let us know in the comment section. Comment on absolutely anything you want to comment on. And if you want to come on the show, hit us a DM, and we'll be more than happy to talk about you. But guys, until next week. Happy Stanley Cup Finals. Hope the heat isn't getting to you guys too much. Everybody
I'm going to the pool straight away.
Everybody stay safe. Enjoy the hockey. And until next week, go Flames go.